sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
A better way to pay your UTG fees with instant proof of payment and real-time student portal update. Paying your University of the Gambia fees has never been easier or more convenient. With EcoBank, students, parents and guardians can pay UTG tuition and related fees through our secure digital banking channels such as EcoBank mobile app, EcoBank Online and EcoBank Omni Lite. Once payment is completed, instant proof of payment is generated and the UTG student portal is updated in real time, allowing students to proceed immediately with registration, course selection, and clearance without unnecessary delays, while giving parents and guardians peace of mind that payments have been successfully processed. How to pay via the EcoBank mobile app. Open the EcoBank mobile app and navigate to the home screen. Select Pay Bill. Choose Pay a New Bill and select Schools from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. How to pay via EcoBank Online or Omni Lite. Log in to EcoBank Online and Omni Lite using your credentials. Select the menu and choose Bill Payments. Choose Quick Bill Pay and select School from the category options. Select University of the Gambia. Select the specific product you are paying for. Enter your matriculation number and tap Continue. Validate your details. The system will display the payable amount. Press Continue to confirm the payment. An e-receipt is generated automatically as proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. Walk into any EcoBank branch or pay through our digital channels and enjoy instant proof of payment with real-time updates on the student portal. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
On Coffee Time now is the country's Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services, Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. He doesn't have a middle name. He may have, but hasn't told us what the middle initial is. As the government's chief communicator, Dr. Ceesay has become a familiar voice on this program, Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, helping us Gambians understand the administration's position on the pressing issues of the day. Today he joins us at a moment when Gambians are grappling with multiple issues of national importance. The lingering power crisis, as I said earlier, continues to dominate headlines and households, raising questions of governance and accountability. At the same time, President Adama Barrow has come under severe criticism. Why? Because of his hosting of an Arsenal trophy celebration at State House, a move that has sparked debate about priorities and symbolism in leadership. And across the border, in Senegal, in Dakar to be precise, the first Senegalo-Gambian presidential council since the exit of former Senegalese President Macky Sall took place a few days ago. And supporters like Dr. Ceesay say it has set the tone for a new chapter in bilateral relations. So Doctor will help us understand these developments. Doctor, welcome back.
Good morning.
Who's your tailor?
I have different tailors.
Do you share the same tailor with the president?
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Well, sometimes your outfits look similar.
Is it? Well, yeah. It's possible. Anything is possible.
Okay, so I have stated the areas in which I am interested in questioning you, but as always, the modus operandi is that you start with updates.
I'd be very happy to answer those questions that you raised. But to start with, it's from the Office of the President. The Republic of the Gambia and the Republic of Senegal strengthen bilateral ties through the signing of new cooperation agreements covering energy, border management, digital economy, youth development, education, tourism, and technology during the fourth session of the Senegalo-Gambia Presidential Council, which was held in Dakar from the 9th to the 12th of June 2026. The engagement of both countries' commitment to regional integration, economic transformation, and stronger institutional collaboration aimed at delivering tangible benefits to its citizens. If you of the public can recall, this was a very, very strategic event. It is the fourth Presidential Council. The President's Council takes place every 2 years. It started after when President Barrow came to power. Yes. As a platform, a high-level platform to further strengthen the ties between the two countries. Now, this platform provides an opportunity for stakeholders, both at the technical and policy level, but also at the high executive level, the presidents, to sit and identify some of the problems in challenges that we are encountering, but also find solutions to these challenges. It was a very successful event this time. It started with the technical meeting of the experts, then the ministerial meeting of the different ministers of the different sectors, then the Presidential Council itself, which took place on the 12th. Now, the outcome of the Presidential Council produced what they call a final communique, which really focused on 4 clusters. Cluster 1 was peace, security, and border management, where the two heads of state welcomed the continued strengthening of cooperation in defense and security, particularly through the operationalization of the Defense and Security Committee, the increase in joint patrols, particularly along the border areas, improved intelligence sharing, and the expansion of training activities, amongst others. And the second thematic area was economic integration and trade facilitation. We all know this has been a challenge, particularly at the implementation level. The two heads of state reaffirmed that the free movement of persons and goods continues to be a fundamental pillar of integration between the two countries. They welcomed the progress achieved through existing infrastructure, particularly the Senegalo-Gambia Bridge, as well as initiatives aimed at improving the Dakar-Banjul corridor, amongst others. For lack of time, I can go into the details. The third thematic area was infrastructure, energy, and connectivity, where the two heads of state underscored the strategic importance of infrastructure projects intended to strengthen physical and economic integration between the two countries. This is important because they instructed the relevant ministries to accelerate the implementation of the joint border post at the Senegalo-Gambia Bridge, 2, the Maka-Gui-Njoben Road Connection Project, the Jimbala at the Gambia side, and Gama-Jago, the Senegal road link, and the Sare Modu, the Gambia side, and Tambakunda Senegal road link. Now, in the field of transport, they welcome efforts undertaken to strengthen the Dakar-Banjul route and improve operating conditions for air services between the two countries, amongst others. The third thematic area was sectoral cooperation and human development in education, in tourism, in culture, in employment, in digital economy, but also vocational training and health. And then the fourth, so those are the 3 thematic areas, and quite a few cooperation agreements were signed, and it ended on Friday afternoon.
Can I question you on this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, before you go to the next update. Joint border post at the Senegalo-Gambia Bridge, and we need that explained.
So what happens is that it's a norm in the ECOWAS region, countries that share borders. For example, if you go to Aflao between Ghana and Togo, they have a joint border post. You go to Nigeria also with, I think, Benin or Togo. So what happens is that instead of having 2 different border posts, where you go to, for example, let's look at Siliti, for example. You come to Siliti, you have to go to the Senegalese side of the building to do your paperwork. Then after you go to the Gambian side, instead there'll be a joint border post where in one infrastructure, you can do everything in one building.
So nothing will happen at the border between Farafenni and Kir Ayib?
Things will happen there, I think.
I would have thought that's the best place for a joint border post.
Yes. So
because the Senegambia Bridge, despite its name, is wholly inside the Gambia.
Yes. So I'm not sure. Maybe this has to do with the Kir Ayub Farafenni one, and they call it Senegambia border post. I need to find the details out. But the idea is to have a joint border post there, where instead of going to two different places, it's done in one particular building, so that it's a one-stop process.
Okay.
So, but I'll find out if we will remove the two borders, the two posts at the Kir Ayub. But I'm not sure it's inside the Gambian border. Then because that's not a border. Yeah. That's inside the Gambian territory.
Exactly.
Yes,
if they take it to the
yes.
to the bridge itself, I mean that's entirely inside the Gambia.
Yes.
The other thing, the cooperation on the Dakar Banjul route. Why only Banjul Dakar? I mean, we also
So I think it's the way it is been written. I think it's on both ends. We have the Banjul Dakar route as well. We have GTSC that does the Banjul Dakar Banjul route.
Oh, this is the bus service.
Yeah, we also have.
So why are we not allowing buses to go to the south into Casamas?
I think those talks are ongoing to expand the access to other routes, to create other. I think the Gambian side wants about 21 routes as well inside Senegal, and those talks are ongoing, and this is part of the discussions that are ongoing to give access to the GTSC, to invest in more buses, to get access to 21 different routes in the going towards Senegal, but also the Dakar Demdik also does the Banjul Dakar service as well.
And last week we got new information about the funding of the Senegambia Bridge. Lo and behold, Senegal's allocation was bigger than the Gambia's allocation in funding the bridge construction. We learned that from Dr. Gagigo. Don't tell me you didn't listen to him.
Well, I was in here last week. Was I? Yes, I think I was here. I left on Wednesday. I didn't listen to him. I need to find out from the finance minister the structure of funding of the Senegambia Bridge. But with knowing Dr. Gagigo, I will take his words with a pinch of salt.
You take his words with a pinch of salt?
Yes.
What are you suggesting? He's never truthful.
He's been making some claims which have been misinforming the public, and therefore I cannot trust his statements. I'll have to verify those statements.
What if he has the same opinion of you?
Well, that's his opinion. We all have right to our opinions. That's my opinion of him. He can have his opinion about me. That's fair enough.
Okay. All right. So much for the Presidential Council. And then just one more thing. How many agreements were signed? I have read 9, but I've also read 12.
No, it's not 12. I'm not. Let me check here the agreements that were signed. I'll come back to that. Okay. I'll find out. And quite a few.
A fellow minister, was Hamad in Dakar?
No.
With the team? Yeah.
He wasn't.
If Hamad was there, he would text you immediately.
He wasn't there. I'll find out. I was there when they were all being signed, but then I did not. That escaped me.
You were there, yet you didn't. You didn't.
It was quite a few. I mean, less than 10.
So 9 could be correct.
Yeah, 9 could be correct.
9 could be correct. Yeah. Okay.
Now, then we go to the other update. The President, His Excellency Adam Barrow, received a special envoy from the Islamic Republic of Mauritania to discuss matters concerning the OIC and broader regional priorities, reaffirming the government's continued engagement in multilateral dialogue and cooperation.
Why would he come here? Is Barrow still chair of the OIC?
Yes, of course.
Oh, is he? I thought he was only chair of the meeting. We're getting confused.
He's still chair of the OIC.
Yeah, there was a time when the official position was he was only chair of the summit in the Gambia.
No.
This was, when the war broke out and everybody was criticizing Banjul for its silence.
Barrow is still the chairman of the OIC.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the president also took part and attended inauguration of the Global Tower by Global Properties, and he underscored the government's commitment to creating an enabling environment for entrepreneurship, innovation, and private sector growth, positioning the Gambia as a key driver of national development and economic resilience. I think his government has really created that environment where we've seen an exponential growth of enterprise in this country, with businesses that are homegrown Gambian businesses going on to become multinational entities. We've seen quite a few of them becoming multinational entities now, having their own like massive infrastructure buildings, investing in their own country. This has never happened before. The president has really created an environment for
Global
Gambians.
Properties is not a creation under, the tenure of Adama Barrow. Global Properties was there long before.
What I'm saying is,
and the other ones you are hinting at were there equally.
They were there, but the renewed confidence in the Gambia's economy and the political stability the president has created has given them the impetus and the confidence to invest more in their businesses and go outside to become multinational corporations, or also to invest in highly capital-intensive infrastructure, which costs millions and millions of dollars, because they know that the country is stable and their business is safe. If the environment was in that conducive, they would be skeptical to invest in such massive
I agree 100%.
Yes.
There was a time when people sat on their millions afraid to show that they have them.
Because I know very soon you'll also build West Coast House. Perhaps this is one of them. Maybe.
We wouldn't do that without government support. And this government doesn't support us. All right.
All right. We move on to the next one. The Minister of Information.
Oh, your ministry.
Media and Broadcasting Services. I think this
just
should have come.
Just say my ministry.
This would have been the last one because it's not. But anyways, I'll discuss it. We will host the Mansakunda Ministerial Town Hall. 2 weeks ago, we hosted the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I will start
charging you for using this space to advertise. Nobody comes to your Mansakunda.
Now, we will host this week is the Ministry of Health that we are hosting. It will start with a documentary.
It should be.
The health sector.
I'll tell you what minister people want. The Minister of Energy.
Yeah.
Nani Juara.
He'll come.
After the problem has been solved, is that when he will come and face the cameras and the microphones?
Yes.
Maybe somebody sending information about the number of agreements signed?
1, 2...
Yeah.
I'll count them later.
Yeah, okay. Is that from the Foreign Affairs Minister?
It's from the National Security Advisor.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Now, then we go on to...
Abubakar Jang.
Yes.
Now he calls himself Abubakar. When we went to school, it was just Abu Jang.
You went to the same school?
We started school the same day, primary school.
Same class?
Same classroom, yes.
Which school?
St. Teresa's primary school. I don't like people calling it St. Teresa's. It's not St. Teresa's. It's St. Teresa's.
Okay. Good. The Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Food Security has advanced its agricultural transformation agenda through ongoing rice research trials across multiple regions to improve productivity, farmer incomes, and support national rice self-sufficiency through evidence-based interventions. Now, rice self-sufficiency is a priority of the Barrow government to the extent that they have established what they call a rice department within the Ministry of Agriculture just to focus on rice research support to make sure that by 2030 we arrive self-sufficient. That is the target of the government.
But does government have farms?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Government doesn't necessarily have to have farms. The government, what they can do is to support private sector investments into rice farming, and that is what the government is doing, creating the right enabling environment to ensure that by 2030 we don't import rice, and that every rice we eat in this country is grown by Gambians.
By 2030.
That is our target. Now, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has launched regional consultations on missing migrants to strengthen coordination mechanisms, improve support systems for affected families, and ensure migration governance reflects local realities and humanitarian considerations.
Is that because, families affected have been flooding the offices of the Foreign Ministry or what?
Well, I'm not sure whether flooding. As a responsible government, as a minister responsible for Gambians abroad, I think the welfare of every Gambian is a priority of this government. Therefore, any measure, any initiative, any program we can introduce to ensure that we account for every Gambian is something which is laudable. And I think the ministry is on track.
You present it as a government that is proactive, but people say there is a government that is actually reactive.
No, but necessarily there is no government in the world which is 100% proactive, but also no government. Our government is not 100% proactive, but also not 100% reactive. Certain things are beyond your control, and when they happen, they are unforeseen. You have to react to them. There are things that you anticipate, and you proactively come up with measures to deal with them. No government is 100% reactive. Then that government is sleeping. But also no government, even the most advanced democracies, are not 100% proactive. There's no government because there are certain, you're not a clairvoyant as a government. There are certain things that just happen. Who anticipated that there would be war between America and Iran to the extent that it will create global shocks, and it will create global energy shock. Nobody anticipated it.
Well, we always, knew that there were tensions between the two countries.
We know, but we didn't expect that Saturday morning that there would be an attack on Iran, and that Iran will attack in a manner in which they will close the Strait of Hormuz. So what happened was a classic scenario of governments to scramble and react to see what they can do to protect their citizens from feeling the impact of the crisis. So we cannot sit here and say we're 100% proactive. No. Okay. Some things we cannot anticipate, and therefore when they happen, we must react to them. But in most cases also sometimes we anticipate when things are about to happen or when things might happen. For example, let me give an example. We've looked at data as a government and realized that our population is growing. And by 2050, we might reach 5 million.
2050?
Yeah, we might reach 5 million based on current projections. That is why the government is doing investments in key social sectors to ensure that in 2050, when we have 5 million people, they will not struggle in this country. That is why the government. That is in terms of housing. Okay. In terms of access.
That's important.
In terms of access
because
to
land is becoming
exactly. That is why government is every day consciously decentralizing development to decongest the urban area. That is why we are taking electricity to the rural areas. We are building roads in the rural areas. These are conscious, strategic investments to ensure that Gambia moves away from what they call the rural-urban dichotomy, where now the whole country becomes urbanized. That even if you live in the far end of the country, you'll have access to the same facilities like those living in the other end of the country.
So you're trying to turn this country into a city-state? Basically,
yes, if you could use that term. So we move on to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They have reaffirmed support for structured sports development through engagement with tertiary institutions while advancing rehabilitation works at the Independent Stadium to strengthen national sports infrastructure.
When will this Independent Stadium project be completed?
So what's happening, it's completed now. The pitch, based on our assessment, is now good to go.
It's not your assessment that matters, it's CAF's assessment.
That's what I'm saying. Yes. Based on preliminary assessments, it's good to go. What is remaining now is because stadium is not only for football. Stadium is a multi-sports facility. Yes. Now, what they are doing now is to remove the track, to put a new track. But the pitch, which was the sticking point, based on CAF's last assessment, is now good to go. But what they did was to remove the entire track, to put a brand new track, so that when finally it opens.
How long will that take?
I mean, the estimates are that by September we should be using the stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I hear Mboyo Field is about to be inaugurated this coming weekend. That's a big development for people of London Corner, my area.
Yes, Mboyo Field is one of the best things that has happened to people of Serekunda.
No, London Corner.
London,
not
yeah, but Serekunda. Yeah,
no, Serekunda is
London
much
Corner,
bigger than...
But London Corner is in Serekunda.
It is,
and
yes.
I think inhabitants of Serekunda will all benefit from Mboyo Field.
We've always complained about being neglected. So at least we will have something...
Not only that, you just built a road on your street.
Which one?
The Safidin Road.
I don't live in that street.
But at least you are benefiting from it. Now we move on to the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
What about it?
They have strengthened collaboration with cultural stakeholders to preserve national heritage while advancing the validation, and this is key. There's a new tourism roadmap, 2025 to 2029, to promote a more inclusive, competitive, and sustainable tourism sector. Now, the ministry also reinforced regulatory compliance measures within the TDA to uphold standards and support early tourism development. Two things are important here. One is the roadmap, and the roadmap focuses on three key things which we think can boost the sector and make sure that we move from having 200,000-300,000 tourists a year to over 1 million tourists a year. That is the target. Now, in terms of access, in terms of marketing and branding, but also in terms of product diversification. That is what this roadmap mainly focuses on. I think the minister is doing a fantastic job in rebranding the Gambia to make it a destination for tourists, which provides the highest hospitality in the region. But also in terms of access, because we have to get air access, and we have NEOs from Italy coming directly every Wednesday, another flights coming to Banjul, but also product diversification as well, moving away from the traditional sun, sand, and sea to also provide other products as well that tourists can be able to enjoy in this country.
Have you considered, the environmental impact of having 1 million visitors in a space of 12 months on this country?
So they don't come together.
That's why I said in a space of 12 months.
That assessment has not been done, but
If
Cape Verde, with about 9 islands, population of 500,000 people.
Cape Verde is rock.
That's what I'm saying. But if they can accommodate 1 million tourists, why can Gambia accommodate 1 million? If we have the beds, if we also decentralize tourism, if we only focus on the enclave here in Senegambia, then we could say there could be some issues. But if we diversify it so that tourists can go to Basse, they can go to Kuntau, they can go to Kaur, they can go to Katong, and that is what the focus is, building facilities, high quality facilities, hospitality facilities in this area, so that we don't only focus on the Senegambia enclave, but we decentralize tourism, not only for Western tourists, but also even Gambians can go and do tourism up country, but also to promote regional tourism.
I'm particularly worried about, having 1 million people coming from outside, with our nominal, ban on plastic, which is not being enforced. I mean, you only need to go around the country and see the amount of plastic floating around, especially after the Tobaski. Yeah. I mean, Gambia's ban on plastic is laughable.
Enforcement is a
challenge. You really have to question why we have an NEA.
I agree with you. Enforcement is a challenge.
And the Ministry of Climate Change and I mean, it's what is happening is just shameful. Having all those people coming with their plastics, all right, contributing to a problem. And really, I mean, government should do something about this plastic ban.
Yes, I think it's an important
Because some
point.
of us have gone into countries with plastic bans. We have arrived with our plastic, and we haven't gone past the airport.
It's an important point you've raised. I think those responsible for enforcement will take note. We'll also make sure that, like I said, one of the most important aspects of this show we're having, me and you, is it creates what we call the feedback loop mechanism, where we don't only bring updates from government, but also we take feedback from the public. So I'll take this to cabinet,
and in particular this plastic thing,
and raise it to see what we can do to do more in terms of enforcing this law.
Not only does it, dirty the place, but of course we know
it has environmental consequences.
So all of that really we need to take it up seriously.
So the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare advanced national efforts to address sexual and gender-based violence through improved data coordination and policy responses, while securing a historic milestone to make the Gambia the first African country. And I repeat, the Gambia is the first African country to ratify the African Union Convention on Ending Violence Against Women and Girls. Now, two things are clear here. One, the proactivity we are talking about in terms of making sure that we use now data, we improve data coordination to fight gender-based violence. It's not a reactive measure, it's a proactive measure, again. But also, I think this is a milestone for the Gambia to show that this government is serious in fighting gender-based violence, because we are the first African country to ratify the EU Convention on Ending Violence.
I know a National Assembly member who, normally criticizes government always, who celebrated this and applauded the government, for taking this move.